And I started shaking when I was walking down the bridge. I was like, shit, this is like made in China.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For the first time, we have multiple guests. We have a really wonderful couple, Annie's friends, and also supporters of the podcast, listeners of the podcast, coming on today. We're very excited to have them. But before I get to that, just got to plug our socials. Make sure you follow us on Redonkulouspodcast. That's no space on Instagram. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. In addition to that, if you want to support the podcast, we have merch. We are on Teespring under Redonkulouspodcast, and we also have a blog on WordPress. That's redonkulous.home.blog. All right, without further ado, please help me welcome Kelly and Rudy.
Hey guys.
Hey
Hello.
guys, welcome.
Hello.
I'm Kelly. Hello. I've been Annie's friend for maybe 6-7 years, and we've been married for maybe another 6 years. So, well, me and Rudy. So
You
here
and
we are.
Annie.
Yeah, we might as well be. But we see each other quite often, so we're really close in that sense. I think we're actually one of the few people that make time to see one another, and as a group as well. So that's really hard to plan, but we always make it happen.
Kelly was like, "Do you want to go on the podcast?" They were thinking that it might be a good idea for us to be on the podcast. I was like, they're just being nice.
We're 20 episodes in. You're talking about way back, episode 1.
They're talking about episode 1.
Your period underwear.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Believe it or not, we took down episodes 1, 2, and 3 because we felt like it wasn't good enough. You can still find it on anchor.fm, but you're not going to see it on YouTube. Fun fact, I guess.
All right, today's word of the day is gustatory. It's an adjective, and it means relating to or associated with eating or the sense of taste. The dinner was a gustatory pleasure for the palate.
Thank you for the word of the day.
That's so interesting. I saw the highlights, his highlights, and it's just like the movement of trees.
So we're talking about your trees.
That actually sounds very relaxing.
It sounds as if I was like really into trees, which is kind of true, but at the same time, I there is a background to it, right? Really what it is I wanted to be able to capture like that feeling of tranquilness that you feel in a visual way. Yeah.
ASMR for your eyes.
Oh yeah, Kelly and I were just talking about that yesterday. She was sitting on the couch and she was like, "What the hell is ASMR?" And I was like, I don't know what it stands for, but it's just like really intense audio. But yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it, Jeff.
I just remember really, really fondly. I was at your wedding and I saw the proposal video. That was the sweetest thing that I've seen, man. Where were you guys when you made that video?
We were at Bermuda. Yeah, it was a surprise. It was my gift. It was my birthday gift. The morning of the day, he was looking out the window. He was like, "I'm just like checking the weather. Like, why is it so cloudy?" I was like, "Oh my God, let's get out of here. I don't care if it's raining. We're gonna leave the hotel." So he was actually in the back of his mind, he was planning the whole proposal. So I was just screaming at him, and I feel bad.
Yeah. I was like, that's exactly how it happened. I was super nervous because the weather forecast when we landed was like, it's gonna be raining all 3 days that we're there. Basically the entire time. I was like, oh crap. So then there are like pockets of sunshine and like, oh, this is great. So I wanted to take advantage of it. That was obviously my first time in Bermuda and the weather was just so fickle. And then couple that with, obviously we didn't have a third person to take the video or the photo. So the video that you saw, Jeff and Annie, was kind of mounted on a tripod of a camera. There was this shot that we were on like a sand dune and on the beach, and then she started like throwing sand. I was like, great, let's do that. That's cool. Keep doing that. And then she got so into it. She started throwing sand at the camera, and then it like because this is one of those cameras that had like the lenses that zooms out. So then the sand got everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I was like so worried. And then I got really pissed because like I was like, that was for the, and then she's like, why are you so pissed? Like, well, it's just this dumb camera. I was like, we can return it. I was like, I know we can return it, but I didn't want to say. So anyway, we cleaned it up and thankfully it worked well. And then the proposal worked well and the weather was great. And it was awesome. But that was kind of the story leading up to it.
I just posted 2 videos that I put together. One was for Valentine's Day for Annie, celebrating our 10th Valentine's Day. And
it's me embarrassing myself.
I thought that this was our 11th Valentine's Day. So when I set it up, I made it an 11-minute video, 1 minute for every year. I was like, happy 11th Valentine's. And she's like, it's our 10th.
Oh, Jeff.
Hey, I wasn't sure actually. 2 truths, 1 lie?
So the first one is, when I was younger, I used to be deathly afraid of porcelain dolls. So that's the first thing. The second thing was, back in high school, I was interviewed by a news crew and made the nightly news for my high school. So that's the second one. The third one was, I once was shoulder checked by Snoop Dogg's entourage. That happened in Las Vegas. And this guy told, boom, get out of the way. This mother. And then I looked around. It was like this huge dude in a leather jacket. I was like, okay. But then I saw Snoop Dogg just keep walking. And I was like, okay. A buddy of mine was like, yeah, that's Snoop. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Hey, maybe I could use that for future trivia and things. So here we are.
I think the porcelain doll sounds like the lie.
Did you have a very bad experience with porcelain dolls?
My sister had a porcelain doll and, you know, they were on another bed, but there was a porcelain doll sitting right there on top of the table. And then I woke up in the morning, I saw it staring at me. I was like, sister, can you turn that doll around? And then she was like, what? And then my parents were like, what? And then I told them, and that's when they found out that I was afraid of porcelain dolls. And that's just one story.
You call your sister?
No, I mean, her name's Maria, but I figured just for the sake of the story, something about porcelain dolls, man, they just freak me out. I mean, they used to freak me out, but they still freak me out.
That sounds like the lie to me too.
All right, I'm going to say 2. You guys both say 1?
Final answer.
Final
All
answer.
right, I think it's 2.
I say it's 2.
Oh, no.
All right. So please tell us, which one is the lie?
It is indeed number 2. I never did that.
Aww.
It was a friend of mine that got into it, and I thought I could get away with it by just like having a detailed story.
So did you get Snoop Dogg's autograph? That's the most important thing.
There was way too many people.
1, 2, 3 to the 4. All right, Kelly, let's do yours.
All right. So the first one is, I bungee jumped in Australia. And Annie, you know me, right? Like, I'm chicken. Like, why the heck would I do that?
Wait.
And have I ever been to Australia? I think that's another question, right?
Are you helping me?
Number 2, I had plastic surgeries. Number 3 is that Chris Martin from Coldplay came to my office.
That one has to be true.
That's true.
That
I
one
think
has to
that's
be
true. Because she used to work for a place where a lot of famous people walk the halls. So I think that's true.
Maybe it was another celebrity,
Mm.
but she was dreaming about Chris Martin.
I don't ever remember you mentioning that you got plastic surgery or bungee jumping. So, but Kelly could be crazy. So she's unpredictable.
What made you want to bungee jump?
I just want to be brave at the moment. And honestly speaking, I didn't even jump. They kind of pushed me off the bridge. So I consider bungee jump.
That's really dangerous.
I would probably not do it again, but I would probably skydive.
What if you get pushed again?
No, I'll be scared. I'm a chicken now. I have a kid now, so no.
True.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So plastic surgery. What did you get done?
Surgeries.
So-
Where
Plastic
and
surgeries, plural.
Surgeries, yeah. So I used to be really ugly. My sister says, she's like, you're so ugly. So I was like, I was so insecure.
that's
I was so insecure, and I was like, I just needed to get something done. That's something slight that can make a big change.
There's no way that's true. Rudy, do you know this?
I was actually just talking to her sister the other day, and then she did mention something. So I'm kind of like, could it be just something super subtle, like, I don't know, like eyelids or something?
Did she feel bad after you got plastic surgery?
Did I feel bad?
No, did she feel bad after you
Did
got
she-
plastic?
No.
Did she
I
say
think
you
she
got
thought it was
prettier?
No. She compliment after.
How much was the plastic surgery?
Surgeries.
Surgery.
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I make my mom pay for it because I was over 18, but I wasn't like at a point where I was working and like financially independent. So my mom took care of that.
Something like beauty mark removal, is that considered plastic surgery?
No, I love burning moles. No, that's something. No, that wouldn't be considered plastic surgery.
Okay, because you talked about burning moles.
Yes, I just went today, Annie. I did like 6 of them.
You did?
Annie, has she gone to Australia before? That's what we need to know.
That was prior to the Instagram, so that would be hard to track.
That's so convenient. It's prior to the Instagram. You got pushed. I think it's number 2. I can't believe that's true. Plastic surgery?
I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll say number 2 also.
Yeah.
All right, Rudy, do you want to pick
2.
one? Do you know the answer, Rudy?
I think it's number 2.
All right. Kelly, we locked in all 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. We think it's number 2. Which one it is?
Number 1.
No.
No.
I did bungee jump, but it was in China. I wasn't in Australia.
You
Oh.
Wait, what?
China?
Yeah, in China.
Rudy, you got it wrong.
I did get plastic surgeries, but they were really minor. Like
Who did you marry? Kidding.
I had a plastic surgeon remove certain moles from my face because it was such a sensitive spot. You don't want scars, so I had to go to a plastic surgeon to remove moles.
Oh.
Yes, it was related to moles, Annie, but it wasn't burning moles.
Oh, man.
Dang. Because I know for sure she went to Australia, and then that second one just seemed weird. And then when James asked like how much did it cost, and she's like, I don't know, my mom paid for it. I was like, oh,
My mom paid for it because I was like,
I want to know more about the bungee
Well done.
jumping. Where did you jump? Did you jump in Wuhan?
no, it was in Guangzhou and Canton
Uh-huh.
back in 2004.
Was that before
we went to-
Instagram? Yeah,
It was
right?
before Instagram.
Okay.
2004. So we went to a park and it was very impromptu. It wasn't planned, and we saw someone bungee jumping, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And my aunt was like, I'll pay for it if you do it. I was like, I don't know. And then she's like, do it. And I went up there, and I was like, oh, it can't be that hard. You just jump off, right? And I started shaking when I was walking down the bridge. I was like, shit, this is like made in China. Down, you see, like I kept holding on to the rail, and the 2 men who spoke to me in Mandarin, I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. They're like, just relax your arm, and they're like massaging my arm. They gained my trust. The second they gained it, they pushed me off like that.
Wow, you are cray.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are actually learning about each other tonight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to like rack my
Rudy's
brain
like,
for these facts because Annie knows me so well. She knows so many random facts about me.
Kelly shares a lot about her life. When we're working, it's like blink, 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 blink.
Serious hypothetical, guys. You are standing in a field and all of a sudden a craft crash lands onto it. Among the rubble, you see very clearly the body of an extraterrestrial. What do? Do you call the authorities, or you take the creature and try to protect it from them? Or do you film it and then put it on Instagram?
I wouldn't even call it in, to be honest, because you have a responsibility because it is an alien life form. That's the serious answer. The funny answer is like, maybe do take a photo of it, like throw it on eBay, get people to like bid on it and maybe make some money. But like, if you want to be serious about it, it's like, no, you don't want to mess with any of that. Like, you don't know if it'll have the next crazy virus, or like if it's smarter than you and wants to like destroy the earth or whatever. If you think about every movie where like there's an alien that crash lands, like the first person to come in contact is usually not the one that makes it in the end. Yeah, so I kind of want to make it in the end, so I wouldn't.
What if they just want to come in peace? Wait.
Well, what's that sign like this?
Oh yes, this.
We come in peace. Live long and prosper.
That's Star Trek, isn't it? Yeah.
They just came to you and say, I mean no harm. I just wanted to explore Earth in peace.
I'm sorry. My president said no illegal immigrants.
No illegal aliens.
That's what happened with the English and the Indians.
When the white people first came to America, they're probably like, oh, look at these aliens. They were probably thinking the same thing.
If you read any of the sci-fi, like any kind of more recent sci-fi books, they talk about this a lot. But usually aliens, if humans were ever to come in contact with aliens of any sort of situation, it's usually pretty bad news. And they were like, I come in peace. No one's going to believe that.
I think if we let Elon Musk handle it, I think he'll be a good person to handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. His mindset is, for humanity, and, he wants to travel outside to the other universe. So maybe he can get the alien to kind of help us, travel outside of Earth and habitat other planets.
Right. You know what you got to do, James? You got to tag him on Twitter, on Instagram, social media. You see if you can weigh in on this topic for us. He'll probably have something very insightful to say.
I was actually thinking about the MIB, to be honest, and if they really did exist. And then I thought, like, how cool would it be if those little, what do you call them? The neuralizer things? Like
where they make you forget.
Yeah. So then, like, my hypothetical out of that was, like, if you had a machine that could just erase your memory, if MIB did have that, would you use it? And would you use it on yourself? And I was like, I would.
I would just make sure that thing is calibrated correctly. Can you imagine if that malfunctions and then you forget the last 10 years of your life and you're like, oh my God, I have a daughter?
That would suck.
That would be crazy if you're like your neighborhood deli person is an alien in real life.
I wouldn't want to know because then I would just be freaked out everywhere I go.
Any final thoughts?
No, you guys did a great job.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
No, you guys did a great job.
No, you.
We had a great time. Thanks for inviting us. It was awesome.
So with that, let's close out the show. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on. And should we plug anything? Social media? Is there anything you guys want to share? Awareness? Don't travel to Asia right now or anything like that?
No, I honestly think the government is they're probably gonna come and catch me now. I think they're over-exaggerating the whole ordeal. So that's my opinion. I think the virus comes in different forms, in a cold and in a flu. So just be safe regardless whether it's the coronavirus or anything else, but also be aware that the media likes to over-exaggerate and create a lot of fear and generates a lot of money for the economy. And so just be mindful of what people are trying to control and whatnot, but always be safe and clean. Wash your hands when you sneeze.
Thank you for that. And guys, I know we talked about aliens. We talked about the conspiracy theories and Wuhan virus. So if you guys don't hear from us, you know why.